I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the source. But I think that was their attempt to like stay relevant. Was they launched like a live stream type of sharing platform. I have heard of some people that use it. I've never used it, but yeah, some people do use it. I personally I'm sticking with OBS Ninja. That's what works for me.
OBS is, I got to put a little work into it because I'm okay with it. What a great program that is.
Yeah. I mean, it's working for me. These live streams come out pretty solid. Good morning, everybody, by the way. Hope you're right. It's just me and Laghezza today. Toast is on plane out east. So it's a two-man show. I do have 5 bets, and look, I don't want to ask my own D, but I beat the closing line in all 5. So not really a big deal. Not really.
Just say.
Just say. No, I think I have some good bets today. We'll see. I have been wrong before. So we got 15 games to get through. This will be a quicker one because it's just me and John. First one up is Reds Pirates, and I don't know how you pull the trigger on this one at the current price. I mean, obviously, it's got to be Reds, but I thought the Pirates' game to win in this series was the first one. You had the Reds with a super taxed bullpen. You had Mitch Keller at home. That was the Pirates' game to win, in my opinion, and I took a shot on it. I took the Pirates' money line in that first game with Mitch Keller. They end up losing the game late, so I lost. In the second game, I was like, Reds are pass. In fact, I almost bet the Reds. The Pirates won that one. So I'm 0-1 betting this series. If I bet the second game, I would be 0-2. So I've been completely wrong so far. I know Andrew Heaney's been good, but at the current price, I don't see why you wouldn't go Cincinnati here with the rested bullpen. No Bednar for the Pirates. I can't do it because this Reds team just loves robbing me. So it's a pass for me, but it would only be Reds. I'll just say I'll put Reds up, but I'm not betting this game. No interest in betting it. John?
Yeah, I think you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Reds offense in particular versus lefties have really been a rough go. The floor is a straight shutout. Like, there were times where 2 innings into a Reds game and you're like, they're not going to score today. Like, you could tell already. They're waving and absolutely everything. And Singer hasn't really given me the most confidence. So I'm with you. It'd be Reds or nothing. That was the play that I sent you as a lean. 125 is kind of tantalizing. I do have them modeled for a win. Not enough to cover the minus 125, which should give you an idea of how close my model results are, right? If you can't cover minus 125, you're not really expecting very much. Just for you math wizards, that's 55.6. Implied probability. All right, let me just pop the hood on Singer because he started out really good. We've seen him start to circle the drain a little bit. I think a lot of it has to do with he just hasn't had an answer to lefties. Not like Pittsburgh offense has been good at all. Last 3 games, Singer's given up 14 earned through 13 1/3, and he has a nearly 7.5 ERA on the road. Not exactly what you'd expect from a guy that pitches for Cincinnati. He's leading with the sinker. I hate that it's the wrong answer always. It's just literally the wrong answer always. In this day and age, Kyle, everyone's trying to lift everything. I actually covered this at the Athletic. The fly ball rate league-wide is like through the roof. It's like a Amazon chart from the 90s into 2000s, just straight up. So the sinker, that kind of trajectory of it coming in with everyone trying to lift. Listen, if you don't do whiffs and you're getting lifted and hit hard, you're going to end up getting punished. That's been the deal with him. The slider is a good pitch. I'll give him that. He's trying to get lefties out with the cutter right now. This is Singer again, and it hasn't been there. Haney, who started great. The wheels are shaking. They haven't fallen off yet, but he's starting to walk batters. 3 walks in each of the last 4. Kind of a bad sign. One of the first things I'm looking at as things start to fall apart because
4 starts in a row with 3+ walks. You're right. Wow, I didn't see that.
114 whip from Andrew Haney, and you're thinking, man, that looks pretty great. I always talk about 3 legs on the luck stool, Kyle, and all 3 of them kind of holding firm. So right now it feels like only a matter of time. That would be left on base rate. He's at 82. His BABIP, that's at 236. And his homer to fly ball rate, he's just under 10. That one's not insanely low, but he's kept the ball down. But for what's been in the air, he's been kind of lucky. I think the wheels eventually have to fall off again. Reds have been okay the last 7, but every time we think we're getting ready to kick that football, I end up with my fat ass in a pile of leaves. So for me, yeah, it's basically Reds or nothing. You mentioned I don't think Bednar would go 3 days in a row. So I would go Cincinnati to outlast them.
I've always been an Andrew Heaney supporter. Like, even when everyone's perceiving him to be an awful starter, I'm like, guys, this guy's not that bad. So it kind of warms my heart to see him having such a good season. But I agree that he's not this good. He's with the. I didn't even notice that 13 walks in his last 4 starts.
He keeps getting away with it, you know.
So maybe the Reds make him pay. Someone said a sneaky over. Based on the way the first 2 games, it would be like one of those where like this one's randomly 10-7 and no one can see it.
I'm not really to the over though. I'm close enough to 4-4 in the model that there are a bunch of hits in the distribution range to where I would get a 4-4 and you'd automatically get the win, but I don't have like a lot of offense in this. Pittsburgh offense has been putrid the last couple of days, just the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and we got slight wind blowing in, a little bit cold. Yep. It's not the best weather for scoring runs.
Yeah. Vegas on that, right? The F5 is 4. That's kind of your first sign.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. And Houston, Tampa Bay. Now, speaking of weather, I think that's the lead story here, John, is the weather. And what I talked about last night, I didn't have – it's down to 8.5. Maybe I'll do it now. So I didn't have the stones to do it, but I know everyone's going to look. You got the Astros on the road where they don't hit. You've got the Rays who don't hit, period. So lineups-wise, neither unit I trust. I trust the Astros to hit at home in the juice box, but on the road, this is a bottom 5 road lineup. The Rays, not a lineup I trust. Hunter Brown, who's been borderline unhittable. Taj Bradley, a formidable starter. So I feel like your first impression when you're looking at this game, like, 0-0 in the 7th. But the weather is significant here at Steinbrenner Field. We're talking about heavy wind blowing out to dead center. Extremely humid afternoon game. It's, as far as weather for scoring runs, this is like Coors Field type of atmosphere here. So even though taking the Rays to hit off Hunter Brown, crazy. Taking the Astros to hit on the road, crazy. I still think that the only way I'd go here is just play the weather. Play it over. It was at 9 last night. It's down to 8.5, so clearly the market disagrees. This is not one of my 5 bets. But I mean, now that I can get 8.5s, if John co-signs it, I might be down to add this for a small one. What do you think?
Well, over, I don't think I'm really I'm close, but I'm not really there. Maybe, I don't know, either my model just loves Hunter Brown. Why wouldn't it? Hunter Brown's been phenomenal, but that weather you're talking about it's reflected in the lines here because Tampa shouldn't have a team total of 3.5 minus 110. There's something kind of wrong with that, the way Hunter Brown has pitched. Legit, like, I don't know, he might be my Cy Young. If I had to pick today,
right,
he might be it. 143.83 ERA whip combo. Dude, 25.5 K minus BB, 31 CSW. Like, I mean, he's filling the zone. He's inducing chases. He's been just phenomenal, keeping it down, suppressing hard contact. How about this? He is a max 194 lefty-righty BA split. So, like, neither-handed side is batting 200 against this guy. He's just been incredible. And, he's passing the entire kind of sniff test also. Gosh, I don't know if I could look for runs, but whatever. This is where I get caught. That's why I ended up on the fence. I actually listed Houston run line as I was going, I need Houston to score. That means, like, I need Houston to score at least 2.
I mean,
it's kind of scary.
In terms of a side, it's kind of hard to argue against Houston. I do think, not that this should influence your bet in any way, I do think most of the world is going to be on Houston, but Toast and Trevor's in the comments saying he got Houston at minus 131 last night. It's up close to minus 150. So if you took the Astros last night, you're sitting on a nice ticket right now.
Oh, I would love that play. If that were out, to me, that would be the auto smash, a minus 130 Houston.
Yeah, if you can get it, yeah, that number is long gone. But if you grabbed it last night, you're sitting on a nice ticket. It's kind of hard to argue against the Astros. I think that weather adds a really weird element to this game, though. I hate
it because there's it creates so much uncertainty. In order to get a home run, you still got to lift it off Brown. You're still going to have to hit the ball,
But I mean, in this ballpark with that wind, Tampa could definitely get a cheap home run or two. I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter Brown gets hit up here, and I like Hunter Brown.
Yeah. Again, in that weather, we've seen balls just like inside-out pop-ups that carry gone. And like, look, it's kind of in the pudding with the Rays. The way they look on the road, totally different squad.
We're on to the next one now, and John, I think this might be. I don't want to say my favorite play of the day because you can't really get the number anymore, but I really like this bet. What I went with here. Okay, so what is everyone caught? Everyone is caught up with how bad the Orioles are, right? How can you not talk about it? What I'm going to do is I didn't look at where the line is now. I'm typing the bet I have on the screen, and then you guys in the comments let me know what you can get right now. I'm just going to talk about why I bet this, and then you guys make your own decision. So I took Milwaukee team total under 4.5. Everyone is so caught up with how bad the Baltimore Orioles are. And, I mean, I tweeted about it last night. It's hilarious to point and laugh. I'm enjoying it. We're all having a good time laughing at the Baltimore Orioles. But I feel like the lore surrounding how bad the Orioles are kind of gave us an extra 25 cents on this bet here. We're talking about a Milwaukee Brewers team that over the last 3 weeks might be the worst lineup in baseball. Now, it does look like they're climbing out of their slump a little bit, so I don't think the Brewers are the worst lineup in baseball. I'm just saying, if you use the sample size of the last 3 weeks, I believe they're actually 30th in OPS, the worst lineup in baseball. So
it's brutal right now.
Yeah, they're not hitting. The Brewers are not hitting right now. Sugano, again, the lore surrounding the Orioles, it's fun to laugh at him. Sugano's been great, and he's been pitching deep into games. So I got a pitcher that's been great against a lineup that isn't hitting, and because the Orioles are so bad, I got a team total under 4.5. By the way, with the home team. So if the Orioles are that shit and they don't get to Chad Patrick, or Brewers aren't even going to bat in the bottom of the ninth. They could win this game 4-1, and I'm sitting pretty. The Brewers don't even bat in the ninth. So I like this bet. Let me see if you could still get the 4.5. Did someone say it? Yeah, it's down to 3.5 everywhere. Minus 155 on Hard Rock for those of you that are able to bet on Hard Rock. I got the minus 140 last night. I don't think it's available, so I apologize for talking about a bet that you can't get, but that's what the show is, talking about the bets we have. This is I like this one. Jumped on it last night. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm disaligned because I'm not necessarily running to the window to back the Orioles offense. But as you were talking about, I actually thought you were going to end up with mine, which was just Baltimore to win this one.
No,
this is
you're
my
not.
my ode. I want to do a little ode to Toast here. Well, first I will align with you on Sugano. He's been pretty good, and it kind of passes the sniff test. One, he's been fantastic on the road in general. He's a 2.60 ERA on the road. The pitch mix this year has been really advantageous for him. Against the Orioles aren't pitching great, like as a squad. They don't have really good pitchers. Sugano's a pretty good pitcher. They're getting the most out of him. Listen, man, I don't know. This team kind of effed up. You know, they relied purely on offense, which can be wonky. They went have been struggling. Anyway, Sugano, the pitch mix has been great. The sweeper to righties and split finger to lefties. He's one of these weird guys. You do have to split his arsenal to see how he's attacking them, and they're really making the most of it. So he does have that out pitch to either-handed hitter that I've been talking about, which is that key to getting through the third time in the order and getting to that seventh inning. Like, that's always been the case for 100 years of baseball. If you don't have an answer to both-handed hitters when you face one the third time around, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I will back you on Sugano. I'm surprised you didn't dogpile the Brewers offense. You would have been more than welcome to last 14 days versus righties. They have 6 home runs and 325 plate appearances. Like, batting 210, 566 OPS, like you mentioned, but it's also bottom 5 in K rate, bottom 3 in fly ball rate, bottom 3 in pull rate, bottom 3 in hard hit rate, 337 xCon. Dude, a 286 xWOBA implies like 3.25 runs. They're well below average right now. This team is well below average. And the ode to Toast that I was mentioning lays in the bullpen. Brewers bullpen is cooked, my friend. Again, I'm always hat tipping Toast because that little nudge has really been a big boost. People have been digging the report I've been putting on the Substack every day. Here we go. Check it out. Abner Uribe has pitched 3 games in a row. There's no way he's going again. And he's been really good, but he's pitched 3 days in a row. Jared Koenig has also gone 3 days in a row. McGill had the day off but went back-to-back. Mears had the day off and went back-to-back. So you've got, the top 4 arms have all pitched 2 out of 3. 2 of them have gone 3 in a row, and they've had to, get out. So I think if the Orioles don't get it early, they get it late. Like I said, I was on all the Orioles stuff. I like them as a dog at 5. But if you like the bullpen stuff, because I think it lines up pretty well, I would take the plus money and go money line too. I think those are all good.
Yeah, I mean, you're a brave man for trusting ball. I've come to the conclusion that Baltimore will find ways not to score runs, even if they're making solid contact.
Patrick, not that good, I think he's another, I didn't even get there, I don't want to go too long, he's a perfect regression candidate. All the earned run indicators are at least a run worse. 11 KBB, 22 CSW, plus he's in the air. I guess, man, I'm the guy that's got a stupid picture of his face next to a quote that says, I like the Orioles offense.
Oh, yeah. Great photo. Cubs are on the road in Miami, and this is a straight pass for me. How do you not take the Cubs at this price? I mean, part of me wants to just go right back to the bet that's paid me out back-to-back days. I took the over 8.5 in this series, back-to-back days. Both days has paid me. So part of me wants to say, screw it, go right back to the well. It's paid me out twice in a row. I don't really know. I mean, it's the same pitching matchup we just saw when the Marlins beat the Cubs. So Max Meyer recently beat Cade Horton and this Cubs team. Just happened. Same pitching matchup. So I don't know. I guess Cubs or pass, but this is probably my hardest pass on the board. I have no idea what to bet on this one.
Yeah, I thought my sneaky play, this might be a fake sharp play, was actually under on the F5 when it went to 5. I saw 4.5s early. That kind of moved to 5. And I guess it makes sense. The Chicago offense has been good. Man, I backed the Miami offense. I was looking for a team total off Tyon and a cooked Cubs bullpen. We didn't get it. Marlins had a couple shots. They didn't get it done. Paulie in particular. He barreled the ball to the opposite field that if it went out, we would have cashed it. But, again, you put one ball in the air hoping for everything. Maybe the Marlins get it done today. Their offense is not really good. Like, we've seen the floor. We've even seen, like, a sustained floor. I think that just has to do with him being young. So the disciplinary stuff for the Marlins kind of spins out of control sometimes. Last 2 weeks versus righties, nearly 400 PAs, 13 swinging strike, 82 zone contact as a team is going to build in a floor for you. Like, if you're bottom 5 in swinging strike and you're bottom 8 in zone contact, you're relying on a lot once that ball is in play. Plus, I think they're like the league leader in swing rate. Marlins are super aggressive. So if you get guys that can get you to bite, that's where I was going with this one. I kind of like the young pitchers in this game. Cade Horton, you got to be careful judging these guys through 9 innings. The ERA is high, but you could easily just as counter with he has a 3 expected ERA and he has 0 walks, which is one of the first things I'd be asking about with a major league debut. Struggles versus lefties, but the Marlins are not really great left-handed. Maybe you have a Stowers thing, pitch around him. And then Meyer, who I kind of like. Same stuff. The ERA is 4.5. The Sierra's at 3.15. He has a 20 KBB, 13 swinging strike. That's kind of what you're looking for. Give me another 53% ground ball rate. And I thought maybe he could push the Cubs around. We only need 15 outs from him. Cubs offense is really good. Though those stats yesterday were all backloaded, right? If I'm not mistaken. Wasn't that low scoring early?
Well, the Cubs scored like 10 runs in one inning. I think it was top 6.
Wasn't it all late? I think they went
top
to
6. I think it was top 6.
6th, and I think he gave everything up. I think that game might have cashed the under the F5.
Oh, it did. The Cubs scored. Yeah, it was 1-1 in the 6th.
Yeah. So that's kind of another kind of contextual perspective. There is. We look at these teams like toast all the time, right? You're talking about bullpens, but you have to kind of break it down. We look at scoring and offense. You do it too with the quality of the lefties that you face. I think this is another one where that wasn't against the starters, a lot of what we're seeing from the Cubs. So I think maybe the same thing. I just think the 5 is a little bit high. I was kind of modeled below it, but I'm also with you. I'm modeled to a Cubs win, but not quite to the -140. It's going to cost you to free.
Yeah, and plus it's getaway day. I'm good. I'm just passing. I truly feel that game at the -140 is truly a coin flip. I'm supposed we should just skip this one, the Cleveland, Minnesota. Who the hell knows what's going on with this series? There's serious weather out there. So
yeah, and they have to pick up this first game also.
And they're not replaying either of the other two until September, I don't think. So Let's go on to Detroit, St. Louis. We talked about this one last night, and Toast and Trevor both on the Midnight Show were talking about how they think the Cardinals are going to score runs here. It's against the Tigers on a bullpen day, and the Tigers' bullpen isn't in the best of shape. I mean, I'm pretty sure Vest will probably not be available. Tommy K probably won't be available. I think the other guys will, though. Brisk's going to be available. Hannafy, Brebbia, Herter. I think there's plenty of arms here for the Tigers to use. And I don't think, if this was the year 2019, yeah, bullpen day would be a fade. But I kind of like the flexibility it gives the manager here to pick and choose his matchups. Lineup never sees the same arm twice. I think it's a sneaky spot for the Cardinals to actually get blanked here. Not particularly great weather for scoring runs. It is blowing out a little bit, but it's towards the bottom of the run index. It's blowing more towards first base than out. I kind of think it's a sneaky under. I didn't have it in me to actually place it. But everyone's expecting the Cardinals to just smack up in the Tigers' bullpen, and I don't necessarily hate the Cardinals to win the game. I just think it's a sneaky, low-scoring game that no one's expecting.
I mean, it easily could be. You make the best case for these bullpen games. It's not always as simple as...
It used to be a blind fade. It's not anymore.
Yeah, I think you sound a little more bullish on this bullpen than I am, just because of the sheer amount of work that they've had lately. And, Herter is like a one-inning guy. And, a couple of these guys have really struggled. Like Brisky and Brebbia both having really rough seasons in the first place. So I just don't know where all those innings come from. Man, seeing Vest would be out of character. I didn't think we were going to see him this much. He's pitched 3 out of 4, and they've, probably averaging like 20 pitches. Again, Canely, he hasn't pitched 2 in a row all week, but he's pitching every other day. Yeah, I'm not sure where the bulk comes from. That's where I'd be worried. You'd like to go into a bullpen day with a little less pitches on the arms.
I mean, these aren't terrible. Herter, Brebbia, Hannafy's going to be available. Holton, obviously, is starting. Brisk, these are decent. They're not bad. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy K can pitch too. They're worked, but I'm assuming the Tigers have off tomorrow, right? Yeah. So the Tigers have off tomorrow. They can empty the tank here.
Yeah.
I think
it hasn't been crazy. It's not like 3 in a row. It wasn't crazy.
I doubt we'll see Vest. But other than Vest, I wouldn't be surprised if every single arm on here is available. And this is a bullpen that's been pretty solid this year. I think there's enough in the tank to get through 9 innings. Yes, after today, they will be screwed, but they have tomorrow off. So I think there's enough in the tank here to get through 9 freaking innings.
Man, do you really like Palante to go back to back to back? I think that was in my notes. That was the thing I was a little worried about. Oh, of course, there's multiple ways, to look at it, right? 1,000 ways to skin a cat without scratching his asshole. And Palante's coming off 2. I think I have 2 money starts in a row. So for the unfamiliar, quality starts are kind of stupid. 6-3. I did some work on having to go 7-2. Or 7 innings minimum, 2 earned run maximum. Those are the really great starts. Those are the ones that get you W's in fantasy, but in real life also. Man, I almost feel like you got to sell the rip. I don't like the 4-seamer. He throws it entirely too much. The slider and curveball, the lefties did grade out good, but again, he also forces a sinker there. He lives off the ground ball, so it's like if they find grass, he can be in trouble sometimes because he doesn't have great put-away stuff. But if not, listen, you nailed it, because a guy like Palante could get 4 double plays today. He could give up 8 hits and still blank you because everything's on the ground. And if it's at people, they're all double plays.
Well, what I like about Palante, and let me just be clear. I don't really like Palante particularly. He's all right. I think he's a solid, formidable starter. But what I like about him for this matchup, 113 whip, 324 xFIP against lefties, against lefty bats. And the Tigers lineup, I mean, where are the dangerous righty bats in this lineup? You got Torkelson. Other than that, there's not. I mean, Javi Baez, I guess, in the 9-hole.
Can you believe we're saying that?
That's crazy. But the Tigers, most of the bats that scare me for the Tigers, you got Carpenter, you got Riley Green, they're lefties. So the Tigers are a lineup that really features lefty bats. So Palante, it might not be the worst matchup for Palante with a 324 xFIP against lefty bats. I think it's a sneaky under. Did you have any pick for the game?
Oh, did I thought I mentioned something.
You might
I
have
didn't
been.
really love anything. I actually thought it might go the other way. When I see the bullpens struggling like that, plus the bullpen game, I thought maybe one of the gates would burst open and maybe we'd get to the over 8.5. But I really couldn't stake a claim on it. I'm modeled over it a touch. I mention this to you usually at least once a show. I just have this as kind of like a 4 + 4 = 9. I can see where both of these teams get to 4. Both teams have swung pretty well, and the pitching situations aren't great. But again, you make the rational counter for just nothing to happen here.
All right, let me. Oh wait, Detroit does have a game tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, that's brutal for them tomorrow.
Yeah.
You see, I would say that's somewhere that was poorly managed because you really can't be in that situation.
They might have a long reliever they're going to use today where they're not even. Who knows? We'll see. I will tell you one thing. If that game progresses and Detroit's using their main arms, I'm going to bet Cleveland tomorrow heavy.
Right. There's going to be no one left, for sure.
Right. Because when that game's over and the market catches up to it, that's going to shoot towards the Cleveland side. Seattle on the road at Chicago against the White Sox. I have the Mariners money line here. Logan Evans has been pretty solid. The Mariners are not going to drop 2 in a row against a White Sox bullpen that's missing its best arm. I know it seems crazy to lay this kind of number with Seattle, and Shane Smith's been pretty good. But in the late innings, the advantage the Mariners have it's freaking crazy. The White Sox are not going to have Boozer. Steven Wilson and Isert have both thrown 2 of the last 3. Leisure threw 23 pitches yesterday. So the advantage Seattle has in the late innings and the desperation to avoid losing back-to-back games to the White Sox, the Mariners get it done. I laid the -150 here. But that being said, I laid -150 last night. It's still -150. So looking like a coin flip bet at the moment, but I did bet it.
Yeah, I went the other way, although we could both cash this one, and that's why I didn't go with the full game route. So give me Shane Smith and the White Sox F5. No, that's a full game. When it comes to the White Sox, you have to make sure you're looking at the F5 price. That's at +102, but hey, you can get plus money right now. I think you have the clear and distinct pitching edge. Evans has pitched to a 2.6 ERA. But a 1.5 whip should be like one eyebrow in the air. Then he has a 5 Sierra. There's my second eyebrow. 6.5 KBB, 6 swing and strike, 29 chase, 96 zone contact. Pretty rough combination there. Like the inputs are rough. I went to go check just in case. We are coming off a really good game against the Padres. But again, I'd probably be looking to sell the rip on that one. The cutter is okay. He does get whiffs, but he's sitting 92 or worse across the board. And 5 of the 6 pitchers in the arsenal have a sub-14 whiff. They all get hit really hard, which means I have to back the White Sox. I just need one, though. So Shane Smith has been excellent. You know, he's been excellent. He's like a legit good frontline starter, and we're just all going to be very slow to get there because he's pitching for the White Sox. The majority of his wins are going to get blown. The 205, 114 whip is awesome, but the underpinning stuff is great, too. Like, he gets swings and misses. He keeps the ball down. You know, he's suppressing contact, and he's been really tough on lefties. Under the hood, Smith is like, this is all the stuff that you really get excited for. You know, just 4 runs across his last 26 innings. The 4-seamer is sick. You know, you get good velo, you get good spin. He throws it up in the zone. It's a rising ball. He pairs it with a curveball, which is fucking devastating. He has an answer to lefty and righties. You know he's going to go there. The slider to righties, the change to lefties. You need that out pitch to both-handed hitters. And the Seattle offense, I have to give you, though, the Seattle offense is definitively better than the White Sox, right? Like it's not,
and the bullpen. You're only talking about that 5, though.
Well, the offense and the bullpen. You've got 2 of the 3 phases in this game, which is why the money line bet is not crazy. So, like, though I didn't go that route, it's because the White Sox bullpen scares the shit out of me. I do think I could have you edged 2-1, 1-0, something like that early on. And is this under? If this is under F5, I didn't even think about that. I'd be under 4.5 also. I think that's a sharp one.
Yeah, someone, I forget who it was, Toaster Trevor on the Midnight Show took the first 5 under 4.5, and I thought that was suspicious that there was a 4.5 available.
Yeah, that is fishy as shit. Again, I just kind of did it with my tone of voice in real time.
Because Logan Evans, it's not like Logan Evans is a pitching machine or anything. He's not bad.
I mean, again, I don't love him, but it's not a great offense. If the offense was a plus offense, I don't think we'd be getting the price that we like. So, yeah, I just don't think a lot of scoring happens in this one. I'd be shocked at like a 3-1. I'm surprised it's 4.5 as well.
What do you think about, and this is not a bet I have, someone actually suggested it in the comments a few minutes ago, said, Kyle, what do you think about Royals team total over 2.5? I know it's Logan Webb at home in San Francisco. I know the Royals bats have been unreliable, but it's actually decent weather here. Slight wind blowing out, not heavy, slight wind blowing out, but the temperature is high. It's actually 5th on the board today. Oracle Park is 5th on the board today in run index, according to Ballpark Pal. Normally, San Francisco's towards the bottom. So temperature-wise, they think it's a good day for scoring runs in San Francisco. I think kind of the lore of Logan Webb at home, like, oh, no one scores runs on Logan Webb at home. That's just what people blindly say. I think that's probably getting us an extra 10 to 15 cents here on the Kansas City side. Giants bullpen, I'll pull it up on the screen. Not that it's completely cooked or anything, but they're definitely used a little bit. The Royals have seen these arms. 1 second, let me get it on the screen. Here it is at the bottom here. You got Ryan Walker, 3 of the last 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
Low
number, but I still doubt they bring him at 4 out of 5. I guess it happens. I think the Angels went crazy yesterday. They blew up all my expectations with usage, but I think I'm with you. The Giants bullpen is definitely stretched.
Yeah, so I don't hate this bet right here. I have to type it up because it's not a bet I have. Someone get me a price on the Royals team total over 2.5. I know I'm probably going to have to pay some juice for it. But it was no one is expecting the Royals to do anything against Logan Webb, but give me a 2-piece.
Dude, that's the standard line right now. It's 2.5 minus 130
for the over.
Full game Royals full game team total over is 2.5 minus 130.
That's a steal, John.
Man, fuck. Son of a bitch. I was getting ready to I was trying to remember exactly what you said so I could do it in the voice. Like, but nobody scores runs off Logan Webb at home.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is a good bet.
Oh, man. Again, you got me with the price, and I think you do what you always do, which is making really good arguments based on the numbers, which is what this is all about. I mean, I wouldn't go under that shit. I still think the Giants get it done. I don't think the Royals really get to Logan Webb, but what does that mean? That means, all right, he gives up 1, maybe he gives up 2.
That could be 2 runs. 2 runs in 7 innings. 2 runs in 7 innings. I'm live as hell.
I'm shocked. Yeah, when you said it, my first instinct actually was it was going to be an alt total. No. It's not an alt total, and it's not minus 160. It's the baseline total, and it's minus 130. So I had Giants run line as a bet down. I didn't bet it. Their offense is scaring the absolute hell out of me. And again, I had the Giants bullpen marked as a worry. So I couldn't get to the juice to back the Giants. So that the next step is like the run line, but then you have to score. And the Giants offense, man, there was a point last month when we're like, yo, are they for real? And you called bullshit on that immediately. Even the guys that I really like Jung Hoo Lee and Matt Chapman, which I think are more legitimate major league hitters than a guy like Mike Yastrzemski, let's say, who you also kind of called out. But you just were right across the board. They've kind of stunk. I don't even know, is it low-key stunk anymore? The Giants have
I still trust them at home a little bit. But, yeah, I Giants and Cubs a little bit, although Cubs are sustaining it a bit longer. These teams were 2 of the worst lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching. So I'm not as hesitant. My style of sports betting is kind of stay a step back and watch people overreact and play the overreactions.
Yeah, who do you think KC fills the innings with?
That's a good question. I wouldn't take the Royals to win the game. That's for sure. In my opinion, the way to go is this bet I have on the screen, the Royals team total over, or just the over 7.5. As you said, I am on record of not being a big fan of this Giants lineup, but they have been hitting at home. They're actually like a borderline top 10 lineup at home this year. On the road, I would not trust the Giants to score runs, but at home, they've actually been okay. So if you don't like my bet, maybe the over 7.5, but I'm actually placing this. There's a minus 125 on ESPN bet. I'm taking it. If I can find it.
I was quoting DK, by the way.
Where the heck is it?
It was just up on DraftKings a second.
I'm on ESPN bet for Royals. Okay, maybe. All right, maybe this isn't available. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. All right, never mind. This isn't available. Is it on ESPN bet?
You talking about the Royals team total?
Yeah.
That's funny. It's live right now on DraftKings. I'm surprised. Like that's,
yeah, but what's the price on DraftKings?
Minus 130.
Yeah, I want this minus 125.
Oh, well, yeah.
That 5 cents matters to me, John.
Well, it should matter to everybody if you're betting baseball every freaking day.
Yeah.
Dude, those calculations, by the way, go ahead. Look for whatever you're looking for. Those calculations, people. I know there are absolutely at least one person that rolled their eyes at like the 5 cent comment. Roll the math out for 1,000 bets.
Yep.
It makes such a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? Go to your last year's record and calculate it at a worst 5 cents. So, like, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
The difference between a minus 120 bet and a minus 128 bet, that's the difference between a professional bettor and that 8 cents. That's the difference right there.
Yeah, it matters. Being in front of CLV in the long term matters. I've said it before. I don't mean, whatever. You get clowned, you get clowned. I care less about CLV for baseball than for something like football that has all this time on the vine to mature. Baseball has its own kind of timeline and lifeline. And again, that also will prove itself over time. It's not as reliable because baseball's also high. It's highly varying. And again, people just don't have time to digest it. A night game, then there's a game the next afternoon. Whereas football, people are. You know the deal, man. Those lines drop Sunday night, people are looking immediately. It has time to really mature, that by the time you get to Saturday of NFL or Sunday kickoff, that shit is sharp as hell. I don't care what you found, it's baked in.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the. I just bet that, by the way. Royals team total over 2.5, minus 125. Braves, Nats. John, you know what held me off this one? So I don't think there's any reason to doubt the Braves lefties smashing Trevor Williams here. I don't think there's any reason to doubt that. I don't think there's any reason to doubt the Braves to win this game comfortably, honestly. The only reason Smith-Shawver, he just pitched excellently against this Nationals lineup. Will he do it again? I don't know, but Trevor Williams and then the Nats bullpen that used all their arms last night, there's no reason to doubt the Braves from scoring runs here. The reason I couldn't get there with this bet, and my bet in this game would be Braves minus 1.5 if I was placing it. The reason I couldn't get there is I don't like the wind blowing in from right field when I'm relying on lefties to hit. I don't like the wind blowing directly in from where I need to be hitting. I like the Braves lefties against Trevor Williams, and I feel like the wind directly negates what I like. So it's a pass for me. It would be Braves minus 1.5 if I was to bet it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with that. I had put Braves money line, but it's a little too pricey. Maybe another way to attack it would be Braves team total. That's 4.5 minus 120. I think I saw a better price somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, the cover is probably safe too. I mean, Shawver, we're watching the kind of breakout from him happen in front of our eyes, and T-Dub is coming off a great year last year that we knew was a fugazi, and now we're kind of seeing that. Williams has a 5.91, 1.53 ERA whip combo. The command, I guess, has been good. But listen, he just is in the zone, and you can't put people away. He has zero answer to lefties. Now, I know you mentioned the weather, but still, Williams to lefties this year, they're batting .383 plus 1,000 OPS. It's a .433 WOBA. They've hit 5 home runs off him. We don't need crazy wind to get, even 5 runs, but definitely not to cover that bet. If you think Shawver is going to shove, he's been fantastic, right? A little bit of a slow start. Did he even catch like a quick demotion? I usually, it's funny. That's my favorite trajectory for prospects, by the way. hashtag MLB's fucking hard. These guys sometimes are going to get demoted. Let them come back and clean it up, and then you'll see them take off where the season stats matter a little less. Last 5 starts for Sharver, 30 innings, just 5 earned. The four-seamer grades out really well at 95. The splitter and the curveball really kind of popping off the page. Sub 300 X slug plus 44 whiff. So he's got multiple out pitches with the foundational fastball. I'm buying everything we see from Sharver. Oh, I'm glad I get to ring the fucking bell. And it was the Braves. Been them all year. Oh, yes, Kyle. Oh, yes. Braves finally getting up off the mat. We've been waiting for this all year, for this team to show us who they were. We knew they were too talented to be this shitty for this long. And it's not just output. The thing I look for are always the kind of disciplinary metrics. Braves last 7 looking like the fucking Dodgers as far as discipline goes. This is exactly what we were waiting for. Braves over the last week have a sub 19 K rate, 9.5 walk, which is phenomenal. They're top 3 in swing and strike, top 10 in chase rate, 90% zone contact. This is exactly what we were waiting for. The Braves to just relax, be a little more selective, and then do damage. Now, the top 5 in hard hit rate, 351 WOBA, last 7 days. We know they're very talented. We were just waiting for this. I think the Braves are going to kill T-Dub. So, Braves any way you want it. Give me the run line, give me the team total, give me all that jazz.
I agree with everything you said. Win kept me off, though. Next up, let's go. It's time, John. It's time to buy low. Buy the dip. Mets money line got it at plus 130 last night. I was waiting for the stock to dip. Everyone's like, the Mets bats are cold, but they were still sitting there as road favorites. Stock dipped. It's time. I took the plus 130. You got that's what you're waiting for. You're waiting. So obviously the hot takes from the baseball fans come in immediately. The Mets bats are cold. They can't hit. That comes in immediately. But the market didn't adjust yet. Yesterday they closed as a minus 142 favorite on the road against Boston. So even though people were saying it, the market didn't believe it yet. Now the market believes it. Now's the time to buy low. Mets at plus 130. Think they get a couple off Crochet. Huge advantage in the late innings here. Boston used all their major arms yesterday. Grimace. Mets money line. John?
Yeah, you could. I mean, listen, you could get that. I think what I was looking at was either Boston F5, but it was juiced, or the F5 under, but it went down to 4. The reason is, I think if this one's close, I think the Mets get it. Red Sox bullpen has been, I think they've been worked also, right? I think they might have popped up. Yeah. I think they might have popped up on the borderline for me.
Oh,
today,
yeah. They used every one of their arms yesterday.
Yeah, Chapman is not just back-to-back. He's 3 out of 4. I think he's going to be listed as unavailable. Slayton has gone back-to-back. 3 in a row would be unusual. Weissett's gone back-to-back. Wilson's gone back-to-back. And Whitlock threw 19 pitches. That said, oh, man, you're going to need to score. I don't think you're going to need to score a ton because I think the pitching on both sides is phenomenal. So as I think about it, I'm stronger to the F5 under. But the Mets win is not crazy here. I'm going to tell you why. Mets fans, get the lube out, But, McGill is really, really good. Like, really, really, really good. I know things have gotten a little wonky lately, but this is baseball. These events are independent. And all the underpinning stuff fucking checks out. And it matters. Trust me, it matters. Oh, man. Hold on. Check it out for McGill. All right, last 4 games, he's given up 15 earned through 18 2/3. A lot of people, because again, I follow fantasy stuff really closely, are bailing on Tyler McGill. Like, I get questions, Kyle, should we be dropping Tyler McGill? Which in betting is, should we be getting away from him and fading him and getting away from, all that same stuff. Yes, he struggled on the road, pretty heavy home road split, 186 at home, 5 1/4 on the road. A little bit concerning, that said. Dude, literally from a diagnostic standpoint, like if you're a pitching coach or you're into any of this advanced stuff, everything grades out like a frontline SP1. Legit. He has the big-time four-seamer at 95 with all the fucking extension and the movement. He induces whiffs, pairs it with the tunneled slider. That pitch checks out, and he's got 2 dominating pitches for lefties, the changeup and the curve, both induce whiffs and have a sub 200 xlog. Sub 200 xlog. I don't even know how these runs have happened. I haven't had my eye on him when he's pitching, but to me it feels really wonky. The thing is, he's facing Crochet today. I like McGill heads up almost against anybody. Crochet may not be one of those guys. If you're going to sell me on a rational counter for natural regression, Crochet coming off those money starts I mentioned, 3 out of the last 4. But again, that checked out also. I was on the show with you that start when they started throwing the sinker. It didn't work. The Red Sox are pretty sharp. They brought in Kyle Boddy a season or 2 ago. They're not going to be down for long as far as all the mechanical stuff goes, all the kind of nuts and bolts stuff goes. They went back to the 4-seamer. That sweeper and change combo, too, is phenomenal. So I don't think we got a lot of scoring. The pitching is really good. I have to do the voice because the Mets bats are cold. The Mets bats are cold. They have hit lefties pretty well all season. But right now, the Mets haven't sniffed anything. Though I want to be clear. I think they're very good. But I do think the time to attack great offenses, even if I'll go to where the Mets are a great offense, the time to attack them is when they haven't performed great lately, you know.
You don't want to be a dog chasing cars when it comes to betting. Like, the Mets are awesome. No, the Mets stink. And it's like when you just stay in the middle and watch the market do this and play in the middle, play the overreaction.
Yeah, they're good. Like all that good stuff you're expecting is coming from the Mets. I think expecting it to break during, a Crochet start is the hard part for a lot of us to digest.
Someone said, keep saying Boston not good at home but still win is mind blowing. Boston, minus 7.16% return on investment at home this year. Bottom 10 home team. Again, they're 14-11 at home. If you've been betting them at home, you are down significantly. Not looking at wins.
Betting the juice is really rough. I wouldn't want to pay the run line.
Betting Boston at home is not profitable. This is years and years and years. People dog chasing cars. Rangers on the road in Yankee Stadium. Did I get CLV on this one? Let me check.
I'm a jerk off.
I agree, but why?
I had this as a misprice. I was just scrambled this morning. I had family stuff going on. I didn't get the post, but I know what happens when I drop the algo in the morning. Whenever I have a dog, like, you can bet your ass on it. If I have a dog modeled as a winner through 5, that line is moving 100 times out of 100. I have Texas modeled ahead over the Yankees. I mean, it's fucking Jacob deGrom. He should not have been a dog at all today. That's now flipped. He went from minus 103. He's now minus 125. So that's a huge difference. I probably would still pay it begrudgingly, but yeah, that's why I'm a jerk off. Well, one of many reasons. DeGrom has been really great, man. He's been really, really great. This is the kind of vintage pitcher that we all loved. I mean, you don't have to throw 99. If you tell me you're going to shave a mile or 2 off to try and get some more sustainability, but you're still sitting 97, dude, that's fun. 97's a plus fastball because he has all the other good stuff. He's got great location. He's got great shape. DeGrom gets his secondaries over. He doesn't walk anybody. He wins in the zone. He keeps the ball down. I mean, he's the fucking GOAT, Jacob deGrom is the GOAT. He probably shouldn't be an underdog to anybody. The one chink in the armor would probably be the home road splits are a little unnerving. Like, whenever you start to see a 3-run difference, he has a 4.5 ERA in the road. But I think that might rest in some of the contact stats under the hood, because as good as the 4-seamer's been, he's been unlucky as far as contact goes, because he's got the slider is dope, the curveball is dope, he throws a changeup to lefties that no one can touch. The Yankees are good, but we've talked about them. They're good, but like, they're not beating DeGrom good. Like, I don't think Jacob deGrom could shove anybody around for 15 outs. Yanks are going with Yarbrough. He's going to go as far as he can go. I would just think maybe Texas scraps one across.
Yeah, I nailed this one. I got the Rangers first 5 money line at minus 105 last night. It's now minus 130.
Yep.
I sniped this one. I don't know if I'd bet it at the number it's at now, but that's what it's on. I saw.
Oh, is it because of the Yankees offense?
Well, I minus 130 with a significant hitting disadvantage. Yeah. But I mean, I saw minus 105 with DeGrom versus Yarbrough. I was like, I'm on it. So yeah, I nailed this one.
Yeah, Texas hasn't really hit lefties, and Yarbrough's actually kind of filthy. Really,
he's not bad
on a burning basis. He could be really good.
John, what are your thoughts on this game, Padres Blue Jays? I bet it. I gotta say, of all my bets, this one is probably the one I feel the most shaky about. What are your thoughts here?
Padres Blue Jays. I hit the F5 under yesterday, which quickly unraveled, and it almost unraveled in the fifth. I was puking, dude. That's been the way this baseball season has gone for me. And that's why like context matters and variance matters and stuff. The bell curve matters. It was 1-0 going into bottom five. We needed under 4.5, and we almost lost. The first two batters got up and scored. Maybe three batters. Yeah, two batters got up and scored immediately. Then a runner leadoff double went to third, and I was like, wow, Cease is gonna lose this for us. They ended up getting kind of a weird double play, but anyway. I have Blue Jays marked as a clear winner bordering on the run line right now. Vasquez kind of sucks. I know his splits, his lefty-righty splits have really kind of been at the center of it. The Blue Jays have added a couple good lefties, though. Right? This is not the same Jays lineup from a year or two ago, like the Astros right now, who literally didn't have a single, not even like a replacement level hitter. They didn't have an actual human
Varsho's trash.
Left-handed. So now with Varsho and Barger, I think that gives them enough to get by Vasquez, who he kind of sucks. Vasquez kind of sucks. There's really nothing to love here. You know, he's a negative KBB, 6 swing and strike, 26 chase, 92 zone contact. So you're relying solely on beating the hitters. Toronto's offense has been really good. Like, they've been one of the better, if among the best right-hand hitting teams last 2 weeks. 450 PAs, they're batting 273 as a team, 785 OPS. They don't strike out, they don't swing and miss, right? So it's kind of a perfect matrix to go up against Vasquez. And Toast, plug your ears. But the Padre bullpen lately has been, say what you want about him and the year-to-date stats, and I get it. On this season, they have a 112 whip, 201 batting average, 3.25 ERA. The last 2 weeks, and it's been more than 2 weeks, they have a +7 ERA, Kyle, 13% walk, 11.5 barrel, nearly 2 homer 9. That's how you lose game, right? I mean, that's how you lose game.
Let's hear his thoughts.
Let's go to the bullpens. Well, we already know the Padres are the best bullpen in baseball, so
okay, let's get back to it. Yeah, I just for me
it was Toronto. They were a little bit juiced up, but I think you could even get to the run line today. Like I said, that's probably where I'd be. Maybe even Toronto.
John,
team total. I don't want 6 runs. If it's 5, maybe Toronto's 4.5 minus 115. I could get there.
You made your entire analysis about Randy Vasquez, as if there's not plenty of other aspects of this game. So, yeah, I'm not a big Randy Vasquez fan, but I also am not a fan of Dalton Varsho, or I don't even trust Santander like that. There's not enough lefties in the Blue Jays lineup to make it a pure fade of Vasquez for me. Not saying he's going to pitch a gem. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to put together some sort of serviceable start. Let's not forget that if you look at Vasquez starts, I mean, there's plenty of quality starts in here. It's not unfathomable that Vasquez can pitch well. In fact, he's looked pretty good in his last 2 starts. So I think Randy Vasquez is able to give you a serviceable start here. Maybe 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, something like that. And
hold on. Okay, I knew it because you're going off narrative, and Dalton Varsho # has been like downright excellent. He has a 988 OPS. Hold on, he has a 988 OPS, a 457 ISO, 6 home runs and 48 plate appearances. It's a 25% barrel rate and a 393 xWOBA. Like, he's been awesome. He's been awesome. So I think what we needed for him was healthy. I'm surprised. Barge has been good also. He kind of up and coming prospect. I'm sorry you didn't like him as much. I thought you'd be dogpiling Vasquez.
No. I mean, I don't think Vasquez is going to be great. I think he'll be okay. And I think that's all the Padres need to win this game. Everyone's written the Padres' bats off as ice cold. I think Gausman is a perfect time for them to open up. I think they could score a few on Gausman. And then in the late innings, Toronto used Hoffman yesterday. They used Yari Rodriguez. They used Brandon Little. Now, it's not it's not that the Blue Jays bullpen is taxed, but I feel I have the advantage in the late innings as well. Yeah, I'm on the Padres here.
You're back on the Padres bullpen.
Yeah, I like the Padres at this price. I think minus 160 is a little much here. So
Gausman's got the strong home splits. He just got beat up. So, like, I'm normally looking to buy the dip on a guy with that kind of underpinning stuff. He's been really good. I'm surprised. He's been good. He's generally good in that building also.
This is probably the bet I'm least confident about today.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that either way.
Next up, Phillies Rockies in Coors. I've been saying my plan all week. I said every single game. You guys are probably sick of hearing it. The Phillies win 3 straight blowouts, and then tomorrow afternoon we bet the Rockies money line, Thursday afternoon getaway. So we're 2 steps into this plan. We're now in phase 3. We're looking for our 3rd straight Phillies blowout win. And if phase 3 happens, we take the Rockies money line tomorrow afternoon. Ranger Suarez gets sparked on getaway day. So that's the plan. We're looking for Phillies blowout number 3. Then tomorrow we take a swing on the Rocks.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Taijuan Walker started out so poorly that I thought maybe the wheels were falling off. We just saw Abel come up, and Mick Abel looked freaking awesome. I don't think it would have been crazy to give him the spot, but they did pay Walker, and he does have a 2.60 ERA for what that's worth. All the underpinning stuff, I don't love it. But he's gotten the job done. The cutter has always been a decent pitch. I think the rest of the arsenal is a little bit underwhelming, and he gets hit a little bit too hard. That said, does anything matter against the Rockies? Does anything matter against the Rockies? What are we doing here? They're so bad. Even at home, you used to be able to rely on, the Rockies offense was going to at least be a pain in the ass at home. I guess last 14 days versus righties, maybe I have to bite my lip a little bit because despite all the strikeouts, 25K, 13.5 swing and strike, bottom 5 0 swing, end zone contact. They put the ball in the air. They've hit it hard, double-digit barrel. They've done a little bit of damage. I think you're right, though. I think they just get shoved. The bullpen's terrible. What does the run line even cost? I don't even look. It's
no
so
idea.
Thank you. I know it's so ridiculous. You know what's funny? It's actually a little fishy, if you ask me, because it's only minus 155.
Well, it's Taijuan Walker on the road in Coors.
Man, only minus 155. A little bit. I'm surprised.
It's Taijuan Walker, John, in Coors Field.
Yeah. No. You're right. The over is 11, though. I think that might have come down because I know for a fact I saw 11, and I thought I saw 11.5. I did see 11.5. So that's now down to 11. I'd go over 11.
Yeah, Phillies team total over somewhere in there. Not betting it. Again, my eyes are on the prize.
6.5 probably, yeah.
Rockies money line Thursday afternoon getaway. Tomorrow, we'll be in the parking lot in the Bronx watching that.
I was going to say who's going, or does it doesn't matter to you, does it?
Oh, it's Herman Marquez against Ranger Suarez. I've been looking at the game for 4 days. I know exactly who's going.
Dude, you're going to get plus 185 on that, no?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I've been saying it for 3 days, so I don't know if I have any influence over the market, but there's a lot of people waiting to pull the trigger on that.
Oh my God. Dude, this is the perfect donkey bet. I can't wait to analyze Ranger Suarez and think about how good he's been.
Yeah, I know. As soon as that opens tomorrow, Rockies money line, no hezzy. I need a 3rd Phillies blowout, though. That's what I need.
I
hope it's 16-1 tonight.
1.5 difference. So, just for perspective, I have this at a 1.5 as the mean outcome. Yeah, there's some ones in there, but I had this. That's how you get to the blowout.
We're on to Angels Athletics, and are you buying the Angels heater, John? Are you buying or selling?
No. On the pitching side, particularly, because I don't think the pitchers are very good. As far as the hitting goes, you ride it while it's hot because we knew that was going to be part of it. I talked about the sellout moniker that I've slapped on teams. No team probably more personifies that than the Angels. It's all or nothing. You could look last 30 days overall. It's a perfect example, the perfect setup. They're dead last in average. They're dead last in K rate. They're dead last in swing and strike. They're dead last in zone contact. But they're also top 5 in fly ball, top 3 in pull rate, top 5 in barrel rate. They hit a ton of fucking home runs. That's the Angels in a nutshell. And what you're going to get sometimes is a mix of good environment, good weather, bad pitching, which they've kind of had a nice little mix of. Today's a tough one because it's a great spot to hit. And if I'm not mistaken, the weather is a huge boost today, no? I have 8 to 10 miles an hour blowing right out to left center, which is the power alley.
Oh,
there.
wow. Yeah, it's second on the board
Yeah. So like I said, I had it marked. I had it marked for weather. So I'd be going over or nothing probably on this bad boy. Kahanowitz, if I'm not mistaken, he's been running kind of hot. The total is 10.5, but still, to me, I think you got to go over or nothing. Kahanowitz, again, he's been running hot. Last 2 starts, 12 in the third, only give up 2 earned runs. That's, I don't know if you saw this split. He's a +5 ERA on the road. He's not been good away from home. And it's all the stuff we hate. It's fucking sinker first. It's all contact. It gets hit really hard. Which, again, I don't understand. Me and Toast were talking about this the other day. He does have whiffs in the arsenal, and it's like 4 different pitches that get whiffs. That said, the walks, which were his command and control, was a strong point last year. And if I'm not totally mistaken, Kahanowitz even had a game or two, Kyle, where he had a 0.5 under/over walk prop, right? That's the best in the game, right? That's as low as she goes. And this year, it's been terrible. He has 14 walks in his last 23 and a third. So you can't trust a guy like this who is pitching a contact but needs to command the lower third. When he misses, he gets destroyed. JP Sears had been really good. I called that last start. I think I was on with you. Told you I was worried. We sold the team total opposite side. That hit, he gave up 4 through 4. I don't know. People really like Sears more than I do. The 4-seamer is not any good. He throws it too much. The sweeper is good, but the rest of the arsenal is really unimpressive. And you mentioned Angels on a heater. I just have all the runs being scored today.
So it would only be Angels for me here.
I'll buy that shit.
Yeah, I mean, this team is hot. They continue to win. They're giving us +145. I don't even know how. I mean, I guess JP Sears is the better starting pitcher. I think we could agree there, but it's not by. Kahanowitz is all right. He's not that bad. I don't think JP Sears is that good. But regardless, this is the part that just blows my mind. The Angels were able to secure the win last night with a taxed bullpen. So they come into this.
I meant to mention that. Yo, dude, crazy.
There's no Jansen tonight, but they have Zephyrhan. They have Hector Neris. They're probably going to have Brock Burke. They have They have Sean Anderson. So the Angels, despite winning 5 games in a row, still come into this game with bullpen arm. It doesn't even make sense.
I'm shocked that Jansen came out yesterday. I really am. I'm sure he was on 3 out of 4. I was shocked. There's no way Jansen's pitching today. But other than that, he saved everyone else. Detmers ate up some innings yesterday, right? And the meat of that pen should be good. Sean Anderson, who I think low-key might be the best arm back there, he's rested also. So yeah, Angels bullpen, which isn't great, is not ruined despite all the color on the Fangraphs chart.
Yeah, I mean, this Angels team is about to be 500.
Did that shock you with Jansen 4 out of 5?
Yeah, it's shocking that the Angels were able to win 5 games in a row without a day off and are coming into this game with bullpen arms. Usually if a team wins 5 games in a row with no days off, they're cooked. But the Angels,
you hit home runs, right?
Yeah.
That's just it. That's just it. And you know what? That was the one thing we didn't mention. All the JP Sears is really an extreme fly ball pitcher. And he's been good at home, but the homer to fly ball at home is really low. And if you're legit gonna be putting the ball in the air 1 out of every 2 times there's contact made, and you're a contact guy, you're gonna get punished. I think the Angels. No, I'm with that. I might like Angels team total better than I like their win because they're only at 4.5. The Athletics are at 5.5, and you don't have to worry about Kahanowitz getting shelled. But yeah, I would buy that. Scott asked, why don't we do the community parlay anymore? I mean, I could try to bring it back at the end. A lot people weren't doing it. That's why. We used to do a thing where I would put all the games on the board and people would vote on 4 legs for a parlay, and the community would vote on a parlay and bet it together. But it would do it at the end of the show. People weren't staying for it. Only 15 people were staying and voting. So I was like, all right, people don't want to do this. Oh, the vote, you can't tally the voting.
No. At the end, we used to do it, but people would leave when we do the community parlay, where it's like, dude, I'm not staying for an extra 15 minutes doing this parlay for 10 people. So, right, I mean, I tell people to stay if they want to do it. Diamondbacks on the road in L.A. What the hell do you do here, John?
You bet the Diamondbacks on the F5 because Corbin Burns is all the way up.
That's the part you left out, on the F5. Okay.
Yeah, sir. First of all, right, we've been mentioning that the Arizona bullpen has been a thrill a minute in the first place. Right now, Shelby Miller went 3 days in a row. That also was inconceivable to me yesterday. I didn't think that would be the case. He went 3 days in a row. There's no way he's going. Ginkle went yesterday. He's now on 4 out of 5. I don't think he's going to be available. Graveman went and Murillo went 2 out of 3. Their bullpen is hanging by a fucking thread. I like Corbin Burns a lot. The market likes Dustin May more than I do. So getting Burns as a underdog, despite listen, yes, it's an offensive disadvantage anytime you go up against the Dodgers. That said, Arizona feels like they can go toe-to-toe with just about anybody in the batter's box. That offense is no joke. And they're humming right now, too, right? Both of these teams are hitting right now. So maybe if someone was trying to counter me with a over, I could probably hear that also. But yeah, Burns.
I disagree, John. I think the Dodgers smoke them here. But I didn't bet last night's game. The previous 2 I lost with the Dodgers. So I've actually lost 2 bets in a row betting the Dodgers. Last night I would have bet Dodgers -1.5. So had I bet it, it would have been 3 losses in a row. So let's let the record show I've been very wrong on the Dodgers recently. But dude, Corbin Burns doesn't scare me. I think the Dodgers can smoke him, and everyone I don't like Corbin Burns. I think he's overrated. He's more of a bigger name than elite pitcher. He's not a bad pitcher, but I don't think he's nearly as good as his name, the respect his name commands. He's been good, but the Dodgers just saw him, and Dustin May dominating against lefty bats. He struggles against righty bats. The Arizona lineup is nothing but lefties. I don't think the fact that Dustin May pitched into the 7th inning against the Snakes, what was that, week and a half ago, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's a coin flip on Corbin Burns versus Dustin May. I know we perceive Corbin Burns to be so much better, but if you take into the lineups, I think it's a coin flip on who pitches better. Dodgers bullpen is in better shape. They're the much better team. I doubt you'll see Ginkle. I doubt you'll see Shelby Miller in the late innings. Although the Dodgers bullpen is not in great shape, it's in better shape than Arizona. I think this is such an affordable price. I don't know. I didn't bet this one, so maybe I'll shut up. But
what did you like? The Dodgers money line to win?
Just to win, money line -135. I think is extremely affordable.
Well, that's moved to almost -150 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you were in front of it. You were in front of it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't bet it at -150.
I'm getting some positive signals. Counterpoint on Burns, getting positive signals from him. Right, we've gotten 13 scoreless innings in a row. And, the pitch stuff is just starting to come back to form. The cutter that he was struggling with, that he loves so much, no matter what, he's going to throw it. So if you're going to be in the Corbin Burns business, get used to it. But it's been the usage of the curveball that I really love has been great. And he's getting the changeup going against lefties. That's the key today. Burns uses the changeup against lefties to induce whiffs. Dodgers, we know, is Shohei, Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman up top. That's what I'm watching for in this game, is how Burns attacks Shohei and Freeman with the changeup. If he's able to get it in on them and get them to roll over or some shit, because if not, he's in trouble. But if not, I'm surprised that you're even on the Dodgers, because May's really struggling. 20 earned runs last 27 2/3. He's only a 2-pitch guy, and one of them is a sinker he throws almost half the time. It's just not great. I mean, yeah, I'd be more leaning towards over than Dodgers, but I think they both do make sense.
Yeah, I see. This is perfect comment. Kyle's been saying the same thing about Corbin Burns for 2 years now, and you just continue to deal every year. Corbin Burns, Diamondbacks 4-3 in his last 7 starts. He's almost always priced as a huge favorite. Let's go to last year with Baltimore. Baltimore 2-2, 3-5 in his last 8 starts there. It's the idea that the Corbin Burns, the team always wins if Corbin Burns pitches. That's a mirage. It's not true.
Especially you mentioned, I think the most important thing is and I like Corbin Burns a lot. The market prices him as an SP1
exactly,
ace, and that's not where he's at.
Exactly, the market prices him as this elite pitcher, and when he pitches, teams like 500.
But I feel like today to get plus 105 in a matchup, I mean, May's not been great. You do make a good point with the split stuff, but that's it. He's not been great, and Arizona can hit. We might have shortchanged him a little bit, and I mean, it's not just recent, right? It's all the splits. Right now, they have a 143 WRC plus the last 7, and like all the underpinning stuff checks out. Last 14 days versus righties. Diamondbacks actually have more home runs and a higher batting average and 75 points higher of OPS than the Dodgers themselves. Arizona can hit.
All right, John, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, just check Twitter. That's the best spot because everything's streamlined through there. You follow me on Twitter, you get to the show, you get to the Substack, go sniff around, articles at The Athletic, Matthew Berry, and shit. I'm kind of fucking everywhere.
Yeah, we'll be getting John on for football. He does. He works with Matthew Berry for fantasy NFL stuff. So we'll get him back on for the fall.
Oh, super excited! I don't know if there's anybody out there that plays. Underdog just announced yesterday that they're going to be legal again in New York. I did very well. I made it to the final table in one of their big best ball tournaments last year, and then they pulled the rug and they said Underdog was illegal in New York. They're back, so I'm going to have Underdog uploadable best ball ranks, like they update in real time and shit. Dude, it's great because if you don't follow this stuff, if you're not a degenerate maniac, everybody playing these formats are, and the way news and shit moves, you got to get those injured guys out of your queue because you get auto-picked a lot and stuff. So this, you just stick into the CSV machine and it's like, it takes 2 seconds and it curates everything. It's so beautiful. So I'm really stoked for fantasy and best ball, and then I'm a reception ladder guy. That's my thing.
The Underdog, by the way, Underdog Fantasy promo code is BET if you guys want to use it.
Great company, man. Very easy to use. They don't pay me, but they do a lot of great shit, and they always fucking pay. And that's probably the most important thing now, right there. It means a lot to them. They always pay. It sucked to be banned, but it wasn't their fault. It was politician shit.
Yep. All right, I'm going to run a community parlay. John, enjoy your day.
Check it, guys. Later. Have a great day.
The parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay. Yeah.
All right, we'll try it, but last time people were just not hanging out to do it. So we'll see how many people are voting on this. Cubs, Marlins. There we go. First leg of the community parlay. Wins and losses for a pitcher are overrated. Look at Paul Skeens. Yes, which is why it's profitable to fade Paul Skeens, just like it's profitable to fade Corbin Burns. You're making my point for me. You're like, you've been saying this about Corbin Burns for 2 years, making money. You and your money making. We're trying to make money here. I'm not trying to insult the guy. I'm trying to make profitable wagers. All right, 55 votes. All right, people are staying. I promise, I'm not making that up. People were not staying, so I was like, dude, I have a lot to do also, so it's like I'm not staying for an extra 10 minutes every single day if no one wants to do it. I wasn't insulted by it, but I do what I think people want to, and if people don't want it, all right, first leg. Astros money line. Royals, Giants, definitely Giants. Cast your votes. Harrison says, let's make it all Underdog. Never would happen. Oh, league standings, Mark. I got you on league standings, too. While you're voting, I'll bring it up now. League standings. Whoa. That's not the league standings. That's the league standings. All right. League standings. In the White Dragon division, Yo What's Up has taken a commanding lead. In fact, he's the overall chip leader. 6.37 units. A big lead over Mustard. In the Mike Jones division, we got a battle here. Alvarado's Pizza. Trey Young Bald. Followed by Waldo Mack. In the South Neosporin division, Buzzsaw's in first, followed by Renzo and Chia. Let's go down to the Southern Conference. In the Fermunda Cheese division, Crayonita is in first, followed by Helms and Civ. In the Pig division, Carl Bellamy's up top, followed by Adams Digest, Kevin McIver and Hans in third and fourth. And in Children of the Corn, Empire's in first, followed by Ned's Got No Head and Bills Fan. That's the current league standings. Deadline 6 p.m. Cardinals money line is the second leg of the community parlay. All right. We got Mets money line, Yankees money line, Padres money line, Phillies. All right. Cash your votes. What's the third leg? Kyle, do you think he's an ace? It depends on what your definition of ace is. Do I think he's the best pitcher on his team? If that's the definition of an ace, sure. Then yes, he would be an ace. Doesn't mean he's profitable to bet on, and doesn't mean you should be offended if someone's making money betting against him. Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Yeah, we're getting some people. I promise I stopped doing it because nobody was staying to vote. So it was like, what's the point? But it seems like people stayed today, so. We got a deadlock here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end poll. Mets money line is the third leg. Astros money line, Cardinals money line, Mets money line. Are you able to do a summary of all your picks? They're posted on the website, man, every day. Of course. You can see every bet I've placed for the last 4 years on there. Dodgers money line. Let's see what the second place finishers were. Phillies money line. All right, cast your votes. What's the last leg of this community parlay? I'm going to take a drink of my beer, slap my grandma, and bet this community parlay. Hey, man, I don't judge other people's lifestyles. He's not an ace, but definitely a good pitcher. I mean, it's tough. In all sports debates, whenever you're having any sort of sports debate, you have to pump the brakes when somebody uses a subjective term. Because the term ace could mean something to somebody, and someone else could define. Some people think the team's ace is just whoever their SP1 is. So whenever you use a subjective term, it's like when someone is having an NBA debate and they're like, do you think so-and-so, like, is Jalen Brunson a superstar? And they're like debating, and it's like, well, hold on. If you're going to use a term like superstar, first you have to define what a superstar is before you can even have the debate. Is superstar a top 10 player in the league? Is it a top 5 player? Some people say the superstar is just whoever the best player on a team is. They're the superstar of that city. So whenever you use a subjective term like ace or superstar or elite, that's one that's always used in sports debates, the word elite. And it was like, do you think he's elite? It's like, okay, well, define what elite is first. And then we can argue, because like if you think elite's top 5 and I think it's top 20, we can argue for days and not even be arguing the same shit. So the term ace, you would first need to define what you think an ace is before that. Then once we define what an ace is, then we can argue whether or not Corbin Burns is that. Any input on NBA today? I got the Knicks minus 3.5. We're doing an NBA show at 4 though. I'll be back in 3.5 hours. That's a good point, Kyle. Yeah, that's how it works with sports debates. I'll listen or read some thread on Twitter and be like, you guys are just like arguing a term, and like you both define that term differently. So like if you're going to say ace, what's an ace? Let's talk about what an ace is first, and then we can argue about whether he's that. Phillies money line. Someone shout out the odds, please. Kyle, how often do you parlay? Basically never. See, he said Gabriel Gomez says he's the ace for the D-backs. So he defines ace as the SP1 for each team. Some people define ace as a top 5 pitcher in the league. So you got to define what that is first. Yo, someone give me odds on this, please. Is really everyone wanted this community parlay and no one's going to hook me up with odds? Plus 895 on FanDuel. Thank you. All right, everyone, community parlay, Astros money line, Cardinals money line, Mets money line, Phillies money line, plus 895 on FanDuel. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you all 4 p.m. to talk about the NBA game, maybe some WNBA. I'll be back at 3.5 hours. Talk to you guys later. If you're in the betting league, you got 5.5 hours till deadline. So if you're in the betting league, make sure you get your picks submitted by 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. I'll be here working all day.